Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is N0AGI. I'm here to talk about the new update on the Stpo tool, the Satellite Tracking Prediction Operator tool. I recently launched a new version of the product. It's 3.0, and I'm here to quickly walk through some of the changes that are applied to this new version. First off, if you go to my blog here, N0AGI.com, and then go into APRS, Satellite APRS, and go into Software and STPO tool, you will land into this page here. And the page kind of provides you with some detail about the product, some screenshots, and also provides you a link where you can download the latest version of the product, the 3.0x. It also has links to the forum in the Google groups and some additional YouTube videos. Uh, the video that I'm currently producing will show up here eventually. But anyway, so that's a quick view of this web page. There's some screenshots here that you can take a look at. For example, here's a screenshot of the operation uh, tab over here, and then there's the satellite tracking tabs, options tab, and so forth. So we'll quickly walk through that here in this video. So let me switch over. After you download the latest version of the app, after you install it and run the application, what you will see is this tool here. And the first thing you will notice is the tool has a title, and of course the version number is displayed. That way you know exactly which version you're running. You can also find that information by going into this About tab and then looking at the date when the build was made and what the version was. And you can also click here to go to my blog, which will bring that up. So basically it's the same web page, or web landing page rather. And this provides a view into where you installed the application. In my case, this is where I have it. But when you install it, whatever location you had used, that'll show up here just for your reference purposes. So let's go into the Tracking Satellites tab. This is where you will set up your satellites that you want to track. Basically, it'll show you the list of satellites that were represented in the XML file. And you can find more about that XML file in my previous videos in my blog. But basically, I have 4 satellites listed here. 2 of them are enabled, as you can tell from this column here, and 2 of them are disabled. Those that are disabled are grayed out, and then when you hover over them, nothing really happens. But if you hover over those that are enabled, what you will see here in the bottom section is uh, a quick view of the satellite prediction data that was prepared for you by the tool automatically. When you click on the target predicted data line item and click on this 3-dot button, that should pull up this window. Again, you won't be using this window or even this piece of data on your day-to-day basis. I'm just showing it to you because you might be interested in knowing what this grid is all about. So basically, there are multiple predictions that are processed or that are predicted for that particular satellite, and you will see the details of each of the prediction. But anyways, that's not all that important for what you will be doing on your day-to-day basis. But once you've identified the satellites, you will also identify the source where the two-line element data is published by NASA or AMSAT, and then you will represent that in your XML file. Basically, the tool will go out to those um, locations and grab that two-line element data and then process the data and then predicts the pass-throughs for you. So for example, for ISS, when I click on this TLE source, and that pulls up the TLE file that was published in the amsat.org website, and this data is available to public and you can download it yourself. what the tool does is it grabs the two line element data for the ISS satellite, and then processes that internally. So once it does that, it basically prepares the prediction data and keeps it available, and then tracks the satellite for that prediction or predicted data. In the options and settings tab, you can tell from here that the options and settings are far more organized than in the previous version of the app. Now they are organized under alarms, email server details, miscellaneous, these are not used category, operator category, QTH, and so forth. So you can make these or edit these settings according to your needs. And you can find my previous YouTube video that walks through each of these options as to what they do and what they're meant for, etc. So the point I'm trying to make here in this tab is to categorize these options far more clearly, so that you can get to these options far more easily. The third tab is where you probably be spending most of your time in your operations. Uh, those satellites that were enabled, they will appear here with the next pass-through predicted data. So for example, ISS is going to happen today with an elevation of 25.2 degrees at 7:20 a.m. Central Time. And then the loss of sight will happen at 7:30 a.m. at 44 seconds, a total of 10 minutes and 73 seconds, or about 11 minutes and some seconds. So that's that. Now what you see here, this the test satellite item, that is a debug item I've asked the tool to add. So if you go in the options tab, and if you go in the testing and debugging, you can see that there's a line item option there called debug add test pass-through. I set that to true. Now this tool is useful when you're trying to test your setup, your environment, your rig before you go to production, so to speak, or before you deploy your tool and your rig in the field. As you can also tell in the bottom section of the options and settings tab, I've added some description to what that option means. Just a quick help, if you will, for each of these options. So let's go back to the operator tab. So right now, because I have set the debug pass-through to true, and I've asked the pass-through duration to last for about a minute, it added the debug test entry here, and then right now it's highlighted in red because that is currently active. Um, so so that is that option. You can always, when you deploy your tool and your rig on the field, you can always turn this off. What that does is it removes the test debug out of the grid. So you're basically going to be tracking the two satellites that you are interested in. One of the piece of add I made to this tool is the force radio on and off. So let's suppose you have a rig attached to your computer, and that rig is controlled by a relay through a COM port. You can identify the COM port here. Let's say I have a relay attached to COM 11 as an example. When you provide that COM port, uh, the when the pass-through occurs, the tool will automatically turn on the relay that's sitting in that COM port. And when the relay turns itself on, it'll obviously turn your rig on, and the rig will be powered up for the duration of the pass-through, and it'll be automatically switched off after the pass-through. You can always do a force radio on, which means that you can force it to turn on and off for you to do some testing if you wanted to. This button here is disabled if you don't provide this option or leave it blank. So that's disabled now. And when you don't provide this option, it also does not engage the turning the rig logic on or off. So that's that. The last tab here, again, if you need more details on what each of these buttons or check boxes mean, please do check out my previous video. I'm just trying to skim through these options at a high level for this version of the app release. The last tab is the About tab. Nothing changed there except for the fact that I've added the version number, the build date, a link to my blog, and the product link or landing page, and the location where the product is installed on your PC. So that's really it, guys, and thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please do email me, or you can join the user group, and the user group can be found here. Let me go back to here. So this is the Google user group for the Stpo tool. You can search for Stpo under Google Groups and you will land on this page. And if you're interested, please do join. Always looking for constructive feedback, and your feedback will help me further improve this tool. Somebody has asked me about providing this tool on a non-Windows platform, as as in Linux or whatever. That's in the plan. It's not currently out, but I'm working on it. But for now, the app is currently only supported on Windows. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye.